The epic premiere of Star Wars, The Bad Batch Season 3, revealed Palpatine's true plans and set up Omega as a crucial part of them. The end of Star Wars, The Bad Batch Season 2, saw Omega captured by Dr. Hemlock, one of the Emperor's most ruthless scientists. Omega was taken to Mount Tantiss, a secret Imperial facility dedicated to cloning. Clone Force 99's surviving members have sworn to rescue Omega, but as seen in Star Wars, The Bad Batch's Season 3 premiere, she didn't need their help. Omega and Crosshair successfully escaped Mount Tantiss on the very day of the Emperor's visit, but the disruption meant Omega's genetic scans were analyzed by Emerie Karr. These scans revealed Omega will be far more important to Palpatine's plans than anyone had guessed. Palpatine's Mount Tantiss experiments explained. In Star Wars, The Bad Batch Season 2, Dr. Hemlock insisted his cloning experiments at Mount Tantiss were crucial to the Empire's future. Viewers immediately deduced this was tied to the cloning experiments that would lead to Palpatine's resurrection in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. The Emperor's visit to Mount Tantiss confirms this theory, with Palpatine continuing his efforts to overcome death itself, explaining why this is known as Project Necromancer. The core problem, though, lies in creating a Force-sensitive clone, for midi-chlorians cannot be duplicated and must be injected into the clone body. This is why Dr. Hemlock wants access to the Kaminoan clones. They are his test subjects, and he has been having midi-chlorians injected into them. Emerie gave Crosshair a mysterious injection in Star Wars, The Bad Batch Season 2, but his body seems to be rejecting it. This presumably means Emerie gave Crosshair midi-chlorians, and it isn't going well. Omega is the key to Palpatine's cloning experiments. Nala Se was conducting regular tests on blood samples taken from clones, which were presumably then treated with midi-chlorians to assess whether they were likely to be able to accept the donation. She had secretly been running interference to help Omega, however, by destroying the blood samples before they were tested. The Emperor's visit disrupted everything, because Emerie was tasked with conducting the daily blood tests in Nala Se's place, and she ran Omega's sample through the machine. To her surprise, she found that Omega was compatible with midi-chlorians. This makes Omega the key to Palpatine's cloning experiments. Somehow, the Kaminoans successfully created a single clone whose body would not reject midi-chlorians. Omega is no ordinary clone. She has always been considered a mutant, although the reason has never been explained. It now seems likely the Kaminoans were secretly trying to create mutant Force-sensitive clones even before the Dark Times, and Omega was the result. The Empire had previously only been interested in Omega because Dr. Hemlock thought her necessary to ensure Nala Se's compliance. This blood test changes everything, because Hemlock will want to figure out how to reverse engineer Omega. If he can do so, then he can create Force-sensitive clones at last. This would be a huge step forward for Palpatine, because he would be able to transfer his dark essence into a clone body. In theory, the Emperor would even be able to have the clone body's M count increased, making him more powerful after death and resurrection than ever before. Are Omega and Crosshair actually Force-sensitive? Nala Se clearly knew Omega's clone body would not reject midi-chlorians. There's only one reason she could have known this: if Omega had been designed for this purpose and already treated with them. The precise relationship between midi-chlorians and the Force is a subject of intense debate in the fandom. In general, the higher the midi-chlorian count, the easier it is for a being to tap into the Force. Injecting midi-chlorians within a viable clone should theoretically allow them to tap into the Force, granting them Force powers. Omega has not demonstrated any real Force sensitivity in the past, but there's no real reason tapping into the Force should be easy for a clone, especially if the midi-chlorians they carry were extracted from someone else. Omega did learn how to meditate a little from her interaction with the Wookiee Jedi named Gungi, and this could well help her tap into the Force. Crosshair, meanwhile, is a much more complicated case. His mutation must have made him theoretically amenable to midi-chlorians. Otherwise, Emerie would never have moved on to the next stage, injecting them into his body. Crosshair's body seems to be rejecting the midi-chlorians though, meaning the experiment is a failure for him. The interesting question is whether he can still somehow learn to tap into the Force based on the midi-chlorians now in his bloodstream. It will certainly be exciting to find out.